Hello and welcome to my DaVinci Resolve tutorial. Go ahead and begin by selecting New Project and naming it whatever you want. Once that's done, it should take you to the Cut tab, and I prefer working on the Edit tab, so let's go ahead and switch over to the other one. Alright, from here you have more of an iMovie interface. Let's go ahead and import your clips. You can do that by Control-I or going up to File, Import File, and then Import Media. Now we need to select all of our media clips that we're planning on using on our timeline for this video. And you can simply click and drag your first clip that you want to start messing around with down to the timeline. I'm going to go ahead and split this clip using the razor tool. You can either click that little icon or press Control B. And then you can go ahead and click the area that you want to split the clip at, and click and drag the other half of the clip to separate it. You can now drag your world clip down in between the split clip we just did. And I think the world clip goes a little longer, so I'd like to speed it up. You can find that by right-clicking and going to Retime Controls or Control-R. Change the speed by clicking the down arrow and changing it to 200%. The next thing we're going to work on is adding titles to our screen. You can find that by going to the effects library at the top left and then going down to your toolbox and selecting titles. I'm going to use the lower third one just because it's the first option. Make sure you have your inspector tab selected so you can edit the properties. In this inspector tab you can change the text, edit the colors, change up the font and position on the screen, all of that good stuff. Give me a second to change up my properties quick. And then the next thing we're going to start working on is video transitions. So you can find that just above the titles tab in the toolbox. I'm going to use the cross dissolve. Just a simple drag and drop on the video. And let's preview that edit. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, perfect. Next step is going to be using our green screen effect edit. Begin by taking the background for your green screen down to the timeline and adding the actual green screen image to the top of it. This will be important for telling the program which one's which. Alright, head over to the color tab, which is third from the right on the bottom there. And here you have all sorts of color manipulation tools like the gamma edit, lift, gain, offset. You can also mess around with the red, green, blue values. But we're going to use the qualifier tool, so go ahead and click the eyedrop and make sure you're on the 3D menu. There, now that we're here, we have the despill option, which helps us crispen up the edges for the green screen. So let's begin by clicking the green and inverting the selection so that it removes the green screen from the preview there. Yeah, so that's a little invert button. And now we can do the despill. Perfect. So we're almost done with that step. Now we have to add an alpha point. Go ahead over to this grid and right click. Go down to add alpha output. And then just connect the blue square to the blue dot. And that will reset the background to be whatever your green screen needs to be. The next step I'm hoping to do is make my world clip a little bit more red and glowing. So I'm going to increase the red output and also increase the gamma. And finally we're on to audio. So go ahead and drag your music or audio clip down and it should add an audio 2 track. I'm going to zoom out my timeline so it's easier to trim up. And I'm just going to drag the edge and move it all the way to the final clip. Perfect. As you can tell by the audio waveforms, the music clip I just put in there is going to be louder than the rest, so it will have to be deafened a little bit, which we're going to do in the Fairlight tab. The Fairlight tab's kind of set up like a Audition or Audacity interface. Be sure to increase your height of your track boxes so that you can see the waveforms. just easier to edit and get an idea of how loud and what parts are too loud. I'm going to normalize this track by right-clicking it and going to normalize audio levels, and changing it to -20 decibels should be enough. Let's go ahead and listen to that back. It's still a little bit loud along with my video audio, so I'm going to go ahead and lower the whole main track's audio, which will just normalize the level a little bit on every audio clip in my video. Listening to it back, it sounds a little bit better, but those hand washing clips are still loud, so go ahead and lower the audio on just track 1, and it should just lower the audio for your hand washing clip. Now that we've got all of our editing done for the video and audio, head on over to the Deliver tab for the final step. Here we've got lots of different options for exporting, such as YouTube and Vimeo, but we can also stick to the old-fashioned MP4. So we're going to click the H.264 source file, browse for a location, figure out where you want to save it and what it should be named. So I'm going to name mine the DaVinci tutorial, save that, scroll down a little bit more, make sure all the settings are right, change the format to MP4 instead of QuickTime if you don't want it in a .mov file type. Once you make sure all the properties are correct or at their best quality, select Add to Render Queue, and then it'll pop up over there and you can begin the render. After waiting and previewing your movie for a little bit, it should be exported to wherever you told it to save on your computer. Once it's done, you can right-click the render queue and click Open File Location. From here, you can find your video and play it. Thanks for watching.